And hello, everyone. Great to be here today. And I'm Stefan Liström from SUNET, the Swedish University Network. And I'm the Work Package 7 leader, which is integration and development. So I'm here to present a little bit about what we will do in Work Package 7. And I won't go into too much details. We have a Work Package 7 meeting in the evening. I don't know if anyone of you will be there, but we will continuously give you more and more updates, and over time I expect this will go more and more into details to look at the nitty-gritty stuff as well. But I'll try to keep it fairly high level today. And from my point of view, Work Package 7 point of view, this is not only about building one solution that works for DC4EU, because we already have ecosystems for wallets. Several countries already have their own ecosystems that works in their countries. From an eIDAS point of view, this is also about interoperability. How can we create something that doesn't just work in one use case or in one part of society or in one society or in one country? How can we create something that truly is interoperable across borders, across different perspectives, across different parts of the society? So how can we make something that is scalable as such? And we have, as you've seen today and earlier, we have 4 large-scale pilots. They're trying out different things in different parts of society. And we're also coordinating within all these pilots. How can we, when we build these things, create something that is also interoperable? As we've been briefly mentioning, the eIDAS regulation is technology agnostic. Later on, there will be most likely some implementing acts giving advice on how to actually implement this. But we don't really have all the pieces together, all the standards that we do need to actually build all the things that we need. So in this sense, we're working together, particularly in Work Package 7, with sort of coordinating and seeing what are the standards that are developing and how can we build something that will function both for our large-scale pilots primarily, but also function with other aspects of the wallet ecosystem. So what we do have is the ARF that has been mentioned, the architectural reference framework, something that has been developed, I believe, by the eIDAS expert group or the toolbox group. So most likely that will also be something that helps define the implementing acts, that also helps us to understand how we can implement eIDAS. So we're looking in Work Package 7 to actually, what do we need to build that actually is according to the standards that we have, which is primarily the ARF currently, but also all the other standards that the ARF is also specifying. So the first picture is actually from the first version of the ARF. So the concepts you've already been introduced to in some sense. We have to the left side, we have the issuer. Could be an organization that issues the EHIC, for example. We have the EUDI wallet instance, which could be the representation on a mobile app on a phone that a person has, and for example, store this EHIC. And then we have the relying party to the right side, which could be the person that in a hospital or somewhere else has to somehow verify this EHIC. And then also, as you see here, there are different kind of standards that are mentioned that is supposed to be used for interoperability to function and work. So as Thomas already said, I mean, in some sense, everyone could just go home, rebuild their systems according to these standards, and then everything in theory should work. But that's a lot of work, particularly when some of these standards aren't really finalized yet as well. So that's why we in Work Package 7 will build something to help this move along. to build reference implementations of how this interaction between different parties can actually work according to the standards that are being expressed as the ones that we would like to choose to have to enable interoperability. So in some sense, repetition is the mother of all learning, right? So I will sort of say similar things like Thomas, but in a slightly different perspective, maybe, just to give hopefully a better, clear view what Work Package 7 will do and how it will interact with the work done in Work Package 7. So again, I won't stay too long on this, but this could be a simplified wallet ecosystem. Again, to the left, we have the issuer. In the middle top, we have the user with the European digital identity wallet. It requests the verifiable credentials. Again, could be EHIC. And the issuer issues the EHIC. At the same time, might be a need to issue a proof that this EHIC is actually correct to some kind of verifiable data registry. And again, we're trying to be data agnostic or technology agnostic here in the sense that it could be the EBSI platform. It could be something else. And then on the right side, again, we have the relying party requesting a verifiable presentation of this EHIC of the user. And the user then can send a selective disclosure depending on the situation to show how much of the EHIC information do I want to use, do I need to show. And the relying party can verify this. So in the verifiable data registry, you both have the verification of the actual credential, but you also have the verification of the actual entities. So how do the wallet know that it's actually talking to a verified issuer? And how can the issuer actually know that it's talking to a verified wallet? So that it's not that it's actually a wallet instance that we can trust, so that it actually protects the information in a correct way. And in the same way, how do the wallet know that it is sharing information to a correct or an approved relying party? And how do the relying party know that it's receiving information from an authorized wallet? So that's part of the registries that we were talking about. So I'm going to zoom a little more into, so basically the orange boxes here is something that is related to Work Package 7. So if we zoom into this, again, so this is slightly sort of Thomas pictures from a slightly different perspective, where within the issuer part, we have what in the ARF is called the authentic source. So basically that is you guys. So all the social security use cases, all the EHIC information, all the PDA1 information, and all the other informations. So the authentic source, because they maybe don't have the potential or the knowledge, or they don't want to sort of rebuild their system, we're looking into now in Work Package 7 to build this, what we call the PID or QEA software, to help receive the information from the authentic source and communicate that to the ecosystem of the wallet, most likely in this case, a wallet, but also the different registries that are needed to enable this in a secure way. At the same time, on the right side, you have again a relying party, but it could be a person, a terminal, an application, but they probably also, or they maybe need also help to get the software needed to actually communicate with the ecosystem of these wallets, both the actual wallets, but also the registries that are needed to handle this in a secure way. So again, Work Package 7 will look into the orange boxes here, the software that helps the issuer to issue the verifiable credentials, the software that helps the relying party to verify the verifiable presentations, and also looking into how can we solve these registries in a good way. So I think one of this last slide, I will zoom into this QEA software, which is on the left side, which is that is sort of where it starts getting fairly complicated. Hopefully this is big enough for you to read, otherwise I'll help you explain what's actually happening here. So again, on the left side, we have what I call, and that the ARF calls, the authentic source. So basically that is the actual data that is the foundation of the credential that will be created, the EHIC information or PDA1 information. We have this connection to what we're actually in, which is the middle part of the picture is what work package 7 is building at the moment. And this is what we call the verifiable credential QEEA issuer. So again, you have some kind of interface between the authentic source and this issuer software. And in this part, it's divided in 3 different parts. And this is also 3 different sort of software packages, so to speak, so that to enable, as Thomas explained, the possibility to choose. Do you want the whole package? Fine. Do you need a separation because maybe due to firewalls or security measures that you have in your organization? Or do you want to build some of these things yourself and only pick parts of it to connect to the rest of the ecosystem of the wallets? So I'm not going to too much detail into this. Thomas has already talked about a lot of it. But basically there's going to be, I think, the big thing here is the choice between, do you want to have this, if at all, this verifier credential issuer talking directly to your authentic source, in the sense that when an individual or citizens want to get an EHIC or PDA1 to their wallet, should this issuer system fetch the information directly from your backend databases, so to speak, or should it sort of have some kind of storage of this information in between? And again, this data store could either be part of the issuer system or be part of your systems as well. So this is what we will go into more deeper over time. There are 2 things that will be sort of somehow not generic in this sense. One is the schemas. So every use case will have their own schemas, in the sense that the PDA1 will have a schema and the EHIC will have a schema, and micro-credentials for educational diplomas, they will have a schema. So that's one thing that will change. The other thing is the credential profiles. So again, we talked about EIDAS being technology agnostic, and we're going to try to build something, or we are building something that will also have the possibility to choose the technological the technological credential profile that wants to be used. So for example, there could be a credential profile. In this case, I'm calling it ACAPI, which is more specific to the EBSI. But there could also be a credential profile for PKI, sorry, private private keys. So that this also opens up for the possibility to either different member states or different organizations, or depending on how you are organized, you can choose different ways that fits your country or your use case with different credential profiles. But in the end, it should be interoperable. So over European point of view, it should still work to both issue and verify, even though you are choosing different underlying technology stacks to actually implement this.